Hi, thanks for joining us for home worship. Today is July 4th, 2021, and I will be looking at the second letter to the Corinthians that Paul wrote. It's chapter 12, verses 2 through 10. He says, I know a person in Christ who 14 years ago was caught up to the third heaven. Whether in the body or out of the body, I do not know. God knows. And I know that such a person, whether in the body or out of the body, I do not know, God knows, was caught up into paradise and heard things that are not to be told, that no mortal is permitted to repeat. On behalf of such a one, I will boast, but not on my own behalf. I will not boast, except of my weakness. But if I wish to boast, I will not be a fool, for I will be speaking the truth. But I refrain from it, so that no one may think better of me than what is seen in me or heard from me. Even considering the exceptional character of the revelations, therefore to keep me from being too elevated, a thorn was given me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to torment me, to keep me from being too elated. 3 times I appealed to the Lord about this, that it would leave me. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. For power is made perfect in weakness. So I will boast all the more gladly of my weakness, so that the power of Christ may dwell in me. Therefore, I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities for the sake of Christ. For whenever I am weak, then I am strong. When I read this, that this was our lectionary passage for today, for our nation's birthday, I thought, what can I say about the United States of America that relates to power made perfect in weakness? Certainly, the American experience or the American dream isn't the same for everyone. We have a nation here fraught with trials and grievous sins. Native people inhabited this land for centuries and were displaced. Hundreds of thousands of our population's ancestors were brought here to this land as enslaved persons. We have a history to contend with. As a nation, we have invented redlining and racial internment and mass incarceration, added those words to the dictionary. But we are also the nation that has a model for other nations to use for gaining civil rights. We are also the nation that has liberated other lands out from under the threat of totalitarian dictatorships. We are also the land where people have fought and died for the freedom to call out our systemic injustices. We are a nation that can learn its history lessons and change. It is the voices that speak truth to power, that urge us towards change. And when we hear those voices, we become, as a nation, the hope of the world. Now, what is it about the United States that other nations may look at us and say, well, that's a weakness? But in actuality, for us, it's a strength. So when I asked that question of our nation, what I came up with is our biggest challenge and our biggest strength, our diversity and our pluralism. We know that we are divided, even at times a splintered nation, because we're trying to make this 245-year-old experiment together work. I get inspiration from the stories of people who chose to make this land their home. On the 4th of July, I get inspired and I get strong patriotic feelings when I see naturalization ceremonies on TV or in pictures. Immigration is part of what makes our nation strong. Trying to get along and live together in a diverse and pluralistic society might sometimes feel like Paul's description of a thorn in the flesh. But oh, what we learn from the things we go through, from the things we attempt as both as individuals we know in our own lives and also as a nation. In our weakness is strength. I wish to share with you today the stories of my friends and fellow members of our church who chose this nation as their home.
My name is Sheena Grease. I was born in Scotland. We lived in London. We were married in March of 68, and we came to the United States in July of 68. And we were only going to stay here for a few years. I'll say my husband had a contract in Englewood Hospital, Englewood, New Jersey. And so that was why we were coming here. And we were having our interview at the American Embassy in London. After the interviews and everything, we were sitting at his desk, and my husband said, "Oh, this is wonderful. My wife will work in the same hospital as me." And he just said, "Oh, no, doctor, I'm sorry, she won't. And this is just you. This is the visa for you. She is just going to be accompanying you." And he said, "Oh, no, she's a registered nurse and we've no children, we're just married, so she'll be working." And he's no, okay, he said, "This visa will not do then. You have to emigrate if you want your wife to work." So we both said, "Fine," and as Pastor Emily knows, ignorance is bliss on many occasions. So we said, "Fine, go ahead." So that was how we came to the United States. We had our green cards. So this was June of 68. Yes, June of 68. And because we had to change the visas and everything, it became July of 68. And but we had our green cards, and Kamal was actually I think 1 week late in starting his contract at Englewood Hospital because of the change in the visas and everything. We landed in JFK, John F. Kennedy Airport in New York. The Red Cross station wagon that came to the airport to pick us up and take us to Englewood Hospital. And that was the start of our life here 53 years ago. Right now, actually, when I think about it. It takes 5 years, if I remember correctly, to become a naturalized citizen, secretary of something for Bergen County, to have an interview, and that we wanted to, become citizens. And fine, you do have to take a wee course, and be able to answer who was the president. We had our interview with him, and then we had to wait maybe a month or so for the ceremonies to take place. So we were became naturalized American citizens in April of 74 in Bergen County. And there were quite a few people from lots of different nationalities, you could tell. And so it was wonderful. And of course, we had to take the Pledge of Allegiance. I do remember standing up with our hand and then the hand over the heart. And so it was it was a wonderful experience, and we've never regretted it for 1 second. Not 1 second have we regretted that.
All right, my name is Ruth Mageria, and I was born in Kenya, and I immigrated to the United States in 1995 as a student. So I went to school for my master's degree in Baltimore, Maryland, on an F1 visa. And then when I moved to Palm Beach County and Cross Ministries, I applied for a religious workers visa, which was an H-1B visa, and that was in the year 2000. I finally got my H-1B visa. It took a really long time. It was a process, H-1B visa in 2004. And after I received my H-1B visa, then I applied for my green card and received my green card in 2008. And then after I received my green card in 2008, once you get your green card, you need to be to have it at least because I had gotten my green card as a worker. I needed to be a resident of the United States for 5 years before I could apply for my citizenship. But then in 2010, after only having my green card for 2 years, I relocated back to Kenya and was in Kenya for 3 years. And when I moved back here in 2013, I kind of started my residency process as a green card holder from scratch. And so last year, in September of last year, I applied for my citizenship, and I am currently awaiting to go in for my test and for my naturalization. So for me, I think I would want to be naturalized to become a citizen. Although I get the same benefits as a green card holder that you would as a citizen, I'm still not able to vote, and I would really want to be able to be involved in that process because it's important, especially even think about just being able to elect public officials, even in my own local, city of West Palm Beach.
Okay, I'm Rosemary Munn, and I was born in London, Ontario, April 1943. I immigrated to Florida in September the 26th, 1963. And it was by choice that I came here, and I have never regretted 1 minute that I was here. Started the process in 1974, and papers, all kinds of papers, had to have certificates of my health, what have you, fingerprints. And that's just like before I came to the United States. It was fingerprints, x-rays, letters from the town, letters from the police that I was safe to come here. And when I immigrated, it was the same process. I finally had the test before I got my citizenship. July 19th, 1974, the day I got my citizenship, I went for the test. We had to turn in our passports for myself from Canada. Never regretted it. I'm happy. Celebrated with some friends, and it was a good day, and it's been a good day for many years for me here in the United States.
Friends, we love the United States of America. And on her birthday, we celebrate all 245 years. And for all her flaws, still she stands beside the Golden Gate, lamp held high to light the way for hope to the whole world. I'll share with you a final story. I don't remember the man's name. We'll call him Carl. He was born in Cuba, and he shared with us an immigration story in my last parish about how he had to hide his Christmas tree in a closet when he lived in Cuba because of the system there. But he had a deep love for the land of his birth. And he said this, and I quote, "I was born in the right country under the wrong system." He immigrated to the United States under a very old legislation for people coming from Cuba to escape the communism there. And he came to the United States, and a gift from a coworker, he worked in IT, a gift from a coworker at Christmas time of an ornament openly in front of everyone there in his first year in the United States made him weep. Religious freedom is just one of the freedoms that we enjoy, and one of the reasons why people come to this country. But when I hear stories like this one, I know that we are stronger in our diversity. We are stronger if we make a tabernacle, a shelter, a harbor for those who have found that they may have been born in a country they love, but under the wrong system. Sometimes we need to call out the system we have here. But in this country, so far, we have the freedom to do that. And we can change and adapt as a nation. God bless you, and God bless America on her birthday. Amen.